सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्. In Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 7, we have completed up to 11th sloka. Paramatma was showcasing his very presence in the external world. He pinpointed various things in this world and expressed that is his very manifestation. So now he is entering the internal world, not only the external world. He wanted to say that internal world is also Bhagavan's manifestation. Sloka number 12. Ye chaiva sattvika bhavaha rajastamasaschaye mattaye vetitan viddhi natvaham teshu te mayi. Yecha eva sattvikaha rajasaha tamasaha cha bhavaha te mattaha eva iti tan viddhi aham teshu na asmi tu te mai vartante. So whatever is the gunas you see here from the human beings, the sattvika gunas, rajasika gunas, tamasika gunas, all these gunas are happening from me only. So, though they are happening because of my presence only, these gunas are manifested. Because of my presence only, these gunas are manifested. But please remember, I am not there in the gunas, nor gunas are in me, because I am Trigunatita. I am beyond all the three gunas. I am beyond Rajasa guna, Tamasa guna, and Sattvika guna. I am Gunatita. So, till now, as I told you, Bhagavan was expressing his very identity in the external world. External world is his manifested form. Now he wanted to say the internal world too is his manifestation. Bhavaha. Bhavaha means antakaranas. The changes in the antakaranas. So antargata prapancham, the internal world, the emotional world, the thoughts, everything, thoughts, emotions, everything is Ishvara's manifestation. The thoughts by nature, they are jadam. Because of paraprakruti, they appear to be sentient. In mind also, we have got two aspects. This is what we have discussed in Drud Drusya Vivekam. Dravyamsam and Vrutyamsam. One is an aspect which is not changing. That is Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam doesn't change. It is not subject to any change. Then other aspect is changing aspect. That is thoughts, emotions. So, whatever is not changing, the unchanging aspect, the unchanging principle is paraprakruti. The changing thoughts, changing emotions are aparaprakriti. Only difficult situation is they are so much intertwined, it is very difficult to separate them. Like, you see the example of hand and light. If you ask people, what do you see? They see everything around the hand. They talk about the hand. They talk about the lines in the hand. They talk about the nails. Like that, they talk all the things except the light which is falling on the hand. Because of the light only, you are able to see the hand. But the light is not a part of the hand, nor it is produced by the hand, nor it is a lakshana, a property of the hand. The light is independent of the hand. In the same way, though Paramatma is the very reason for three gunas, Sattva guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Like the hand is manifested, the hand is visible because of the light. Without light, you can't see the hand. In the same way, all three gunas are existing because of Paraprakriti. But Paraprakriti is not having any of these gunas, nor these gunas are Bhagavans. Bhagavan or Chaitanyam is Gunatita, is beyond all three gunas. So, if you apply the principle that changing tattva is apara prakriti, unchanging tattvam is para prakriti. The changing thoughts, changing emotions are apara prakriti. The unchanging witness consciousness is para prakriti. Swami Vidyaranya in Panchadasi, he explains the changing thoughts. He compares the changing thoughts with a dancing. He compares the changing thoughts with a dancer. The vigorous movements of a dancer are compared with the changing thoughts. So, whatever you see, whatever you observe, if it is subject to change, then it is apara prakriti. If it is changeless, then it is para prakriti. This we have to remember. Para prakriti is nirgunam. Apara prakriti is sagunam. Therefore, apara prakriti has three gunas: sattva, rajo, tamo gunas. Karana gunaha karye anuvartante. Karanabhuta Ishwarasya gunaha karyabhute prapanche anuvartante. Satvika bhavaha rajasaha tamasascha. So we have three gunas: Satvika gunas, Satvika bhava, Rajasa bhava, Tamasa bhava. The Satvika bhavas means noble thoughts, para upakara, thoughts which are useful to the society at large. Rajasa bhava means which ignites some karma, which makes you do some karma. Tamasa bhava, which lures you into sukham and dukkham. They are moha vrittis. So, in general, we have got all these kinds of three thoughts. They keep moving in the mind. So all these thoughts are happening because of me. That's what Paramatma is saying. Because of that light only you are able to see the hand. In the same way, Mattaye veti tan vidhi. All these thoughts are from me. May you understand this. From me means what? Here, Paramatma has got a twofold appearance. Paraprakriti is Paramatma, Aparaprakriti is also Paramatma. So his Aparaprakriti has all these kind of things. Tamasa, Rajasika and Sattvika. So here there is a problem when Paramatma says like this. So people try to escape their wrongdoings and bad qualities. They put the blame onto God. They will say, this is not mine, this is all Bhagavan's Leela. He only said, all my thoughts are his own manifestation. So, Shankara Bhagavatpada wants to clarify this. There are two aspects. One is called Samanya Karanam, other is called Vishesha Karanam. Bhagavan is the Samanya Karanam for our thoughts. Bhagavan is the Samanya Karanam for our thoughts means without Bhagavan, the thoughts cannot be formed because thoughts are Jadam. They cannot, form on their own, they cannot change, they cannot resolve. But when thoughts come, we use free will and give a direction to the thought. So, mind is the Vishesha Karanam. Bhagavan is the Samanya Karanam, mind is the Vishesha Karanam. So, what is the difference between Samanya Karanam and Vishesha Karanam? Imagine you are building a building. When you are constructing a building, you need the material like, the cement, the bricks, water, all this material you want. So, all this material is Samanya Karanam. Without Samanya Karanam, you cannot build or you cannot construct a house. So, this is Samanya Karanam. But then, all rooms are not alike. The hall is different from kitchen. Kitchen is different from bedroom. Like that, the design is entirely different. So, this is happening because of my thought process. I have created all these rooms differently by using my free will. So, my mind is the Vishesha Karanam. So, Bhagavan is necessary. Without Bhagavan, I cannot have the thoughts. But along with Bhagavan, my free will also entered and it is, making the thoughts vivid and varied. Another example we'll see to understand this better. Suppose you have a car and you want to drive that car. All you need is some fuel to run the car, petrol. Petrol is necessary. Without petrol, the car cannot run. So petrol is the Samanya Karanam. then the driver is the Vishesha Karanam. Simply by pouring petrol into the car cannot run on its own. Driver must be there to drive the car in the required direction. So driver is the Vishesha Karanam. So Samanya Karanat eva sarvam iti vidhi. So without Samanya Karanam, you cannot run the car. Natu aham teshu. This is a typical word which we have to understand clearly. Because of me, these gunas are happening, but these gunas are not in me, nor I am these gunas. That means I don't depend on the world. In fact, the world depends on me. So, aham na asrito bhavami, na ashrayami. So, this karya prapancha depends on me. Because of me, the karya prapancham is existing. The transactional world is existing because of me. I don't depend on the transactional world. Without transactional world also I exist. But without me, the transactional world cannot exist. My asritaha vartante. My asrita vartante. They all depend on me for the very existence. Karanam vina karyam na tishtati. This we can understand if you look at the ornaments. Without gold, the ornaments cannot be there. Without gold, the ornaments cannot exist. So, ornaments are the Vishesha Karanam. Gold is the Samanya Karanam. So, if you apply this to Brahma and Jagat, without Brahma, Jagat has no existence. But without Jagat, Brahma can exist. That means the very Karanam, that is Brahma, is Swatantram. Karyam, world, is Aswatantram. It is depending on the Brahma. Brahma Satyam Jagan Vidya. This is what people say. So from Sloka 4 to 12, we have seen Ishvara Swarupam. So with this we conclude the Ishvara Swarupam. So before we conclude, we'll try to extract what we said in this. In this Jagat, there are so many things which are wonderful and having Mahat. All these are the manifested forms of Bhagavan. In the world, there are things which you feel not desirable, some are dangerous, some are, very fearful. They are also Bhagavan's manifested form. But Bhagavan is only projecting the good things in this world. In reality, both good and bad, which is manifested in this world, is due to Bhagavan. But Bhagavan is not that good and bad. Bhagavan is not that good and bad because Bhagavan is Nirgunam. So if you understand the world properly, if you have a Brahma Drushti, if you understand the Jagat is pervaded by Brahma as Upadana Karanam, then the Jagat itself is Brahma. Jagat is not different from Brahma. So, to understand this topic clearly, we can sum it up in 4 points. The first point is Bhagavan is Paraprakriti and Aparaprakriti's mixture is a right blend of Aparaprakriti and Paraprakriti, Chetana and Achetana Tattva. This is what Bhagavan means. The second point, Bhagavan is the Srishtikarta, Stitikarta and Layakarta for the world. He is the cause of creation, sustenance and resolution. Third point, since Bhagavan is the reason, he is pervaded in the entire Karya. This is what we call Viswarupa Ishvara. The fourth and the final point is Bhagavan is Karanam, therefore Swatantram. Karyam is Midhya, therefore Brahma Satyam Jagan Midhya. Tadananyatvam Arambana Sabdadibhyaha. This is what we learn in Brahma Sutras, the same concept. Tat Ananyatvam Arambhadikaranam. Then coming to the next topic is Samsara Karanam and Pariharam. What is the very cause of this samsaram? How to face it and what is the remedy for it? How to face it or what is the remedy for it? So first Bhagavan wants to explain the very cause for this world. Now the question is, if Bhagavan is the cause for this world, how come people are suffering in this world? If Bhagavan is everywhere, Jagat should be like an Nandanavanam. There should be no problem at all for the human beings. We look at this world as a problematic world. The world is lacking security, peace, and happiness. We all experience dukkham in this world, but we never analyzed what is the reason for this dukkham. We think that peace, happiness, and security is in the world, that is in the people, or in the places, or in events. People think by purchasing a house, he will get security. By marrying, he will be happy. By having a lot of property, he thinks that he is peaceful. But in general, we observe that none of these three are available in the mundane world, because they are all, fleeting. They keep changing. None of them stay. As a result, I run around the world to get peace, happiness, and security. Unfortunately, I don't get this to the fullest level. I don't get the absolute security, the absolute peace, the absolute happiness. So I get disappointed. I get jittery. Then I get anger. then I get fear, irritation, and I feel envy on those who are better than me. So all this is called bhavarogam. All this is called bhavarogam. This happened because we have not properly analyzed the world. So Paramatma in sloka number 13 is giving the samsara samasya. He is projecting the samsara. And from sloka number 14 up to 19, he is giving the solution, how to face it. So, the first thing is samsara karanam. The entire world can be understood as para-prakriti plus apara-prakriti mixture. These two we see in Ishvara also. Para-prakriti is Chetana Nirguna Nirvikara Tattvam. Apara-prakriti is Achetana Saguna Savikara Tattvam. Para-prakriti is Aprameyam. Aprameyam means it is not having Sabdam, not having Sparsa, not having Rupam, not having Rasam, Gandham. Not available for sensory perception. Asabdam asparsam arupam avyayam tadarasam nityam agandhavachayat. So apara prakriti is known for our indriyas because it is sagunam. It is available for sensory perception. So, if you come back to the example of hand and light, we can see the hand but not the light. The reflected light we can see but not the original light. So, the original light we miss. Only the reflected light we can see and say that is hand. In the same way, when you are watching a movie in a theater, you are so absorbed in the picture, you forget the screen, which is the basis for this entire movie. So, Bhagavan is the basis, is the support for this entire world. So if you understand the para-prakriti, then you will understand the problem. But we are so much lured and so much caught up in the apara-prakriti. Because apara-prakriti is attractive, luring, beautiful, and it will magnetize the people. So, we are in the maya of apara-prakriti, therefore, we are ignoring the para-prakriti. That is why we are losing the absolute security, peace and happiness. This is like the Sagara Mathanam. Krishna Paramatma comes in the form of Jagan Mohini and sees that Asuras do not get Amrutam because they are lured by Jagan Mohini. In the same way, this Jagat is also Mohini. So those who are in the fold of this Maya Mohini, Apara-prakriti is Maya. So they lose the sight of para-prakriti and they fall into the world. So the samsara karanam is losing sight of para-prakriti. Para-prakriti ajnanam eva samsarasya karanam. Ignoring the para-prakriti not aware of Paraprakriti, totally engulfed in Aparaprakriti. Aparaprakriti is Maya. So, Paraprakriti Ajnanam eva samsarasya karanam. Then, samsara pariharam. So, what is the solution for this? Mam eva ye prapadyante. Those who take refuge in me, etam mayam taranti. So, those people can, exceed Maya. They can come out of this Maya. So, the parishkaram or the solution is bhakti. Then this is called prapatti. So, only few people, they want to know my real swarupam, that is Paraprakriti. Others, they do not want, because they are more into Aparaprakriti. Aparaprakriti gives whatever they want in the mundane world. So they feel that Paraprakriti knowledge, the knowledge of Paraprakriti is not necessary. They don't want to waste the time. This is their argument. But Shastra will not approve this kind of argument. By understanding the Paraprakriti, we have got twofold benefit. One is Purnatvam and Sasvatatvam. Aparaprakriti may give a lot of comforts and, a kind of basic needs it may give. But it lacks Purnatvam. Aparaprakriti is limited by time, limited by space. Therefore, it can never give the Purnatvam. Purnatvam can be achieved only by Paraprakriti. So, Paraprakriti can give you happiness, it can give you fullness and completeness. Only if you are full and complete, you feel that you are peaceful. Then second advantage in knowing Paraprakriti is Sasvatatvam. We have clearly seen Aparaprakriti is limited by time. Anything which is limited by time, limited by space, cannot give you eternal happiness. So, the eternal happiness or the absolute happiness, peace and security cannot be obtained by Aparaprakriti. So, everything is bound by time. So, it comes in a time and it vanishes in the time. Makuru dhanajana yavvana garvam harati nimeshat kalas sarvam maya mayamidam akhilam hitva brahmapadam tvam pravisa viditva. So you feel so proud because you have got lot of money, lot of people are thronging around you. You are in the very young, energetic age. So all this will vanish in no time. So one must be cautious. It is not Sasvatam. So what is the solution? You have to hold the Paraprakriti. At the same time, we are not saying don't leave away the Aparaprakriti. You are in the Aparaprakriti, you have to transact in the Aparaprakriti, but by holding Paraprakriti, you know the limitation of the Aparaprakriti, so you do not have any kind of dissatisfaction. So, holding Paraprakriti is showing bhakti. So Paramatma describes bhakti in three levels: Manda Bhakti, Madhyama Bhakti, and Uttama Bhakti. Manda Bhakti means Bhagavan is the one who can fulfill our desires by doing prayers, by doing, by offering, certain things. We can satiate our wish. So Bhagavan is a source, is a means to achieve your mundane targets. So the world is Lakshyam, Bhagavan is means. So in this, we depend on the world. From this, people should educate and escalate to Madhyama Bhakti level. So here, Bhagavan is no more means. Bhagavan is Lakshyam. So he is ultimate. So all other things are asaswatam, nashwaram. So you depend on Bhagavan only, not on the world. So this is stage 2. Then there is yet another stage which is higher than this. That is Uttama Bhakti. So in this stage, Bhagavan is neither the means nor the Lakshyam, that is the target. Bhagavan is beyond means and beyond Lakshyam. So this is the ultimate Advaita Bhakti. The other two are Dvaita Bhakti. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrudeshe Arjuna tishtati. So the Bhagavan I am searching for is not different from me. I am that very Bhagavan. So this is a higher stage. So we have to reach to this stage. From Manda Bhakti to Madhyama Bhakti to Uttama Bhakti, this is the journey. So we'll start the Sloka 13, which describes the samsara karna. Tribir gunair mayir bhavaihi yebhis sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabhijanati mamebhyah paramavyayam. Yebihi tribihi gunamayehi bhavaihi idam sarvam jagat mohitam. Ataha yebhyaha param avyayam mam na abhijanati. So, tribir guna mayair bhavaihi. The entire world is having three gunas. So, apart from the external world, we have to take the emotions also. Idam sarvam jagat. Idam sarvam jagat means in this entire world, we have these three gunas which are pervaded in this world. But in this world, only few people who think different, who think of Paraprakriti, Kaschid Dhiraha Pratyagatmanamaikshataha. Only a rare person in this world think of Paramatma. The others, they are mohitam. The rest of the world, they are totally deluded and they are losing the time and losing the precious Manava Janma. Balastavatu Kridasaktaha, Tarunastavatu Tarani Saktaha, Pruddhastavatu Chinta Saktaha, Parame Brahmani Kopina Saktaha. So the entire Balyam, the entire childhood is spent away in games. Youth is spent away thinking about women. Then old age is with lot of worries. How can I spend? How can I deal with my old age? Mam yebhyaha param avyayam na bhijanati. Nobody knows my real self. They are not even trying. Mam means me, my higher stage, which is avyayam, the nirguna swarupam. So, people are only attracted by the apara prakriti. Para prakriti, nobody wants to know. So, that is the greatness of the Maya. Maya Mohini. This Jagan Mohini is so Asuras lost Amrutam. In the same way, the people who are lured by apara prakriti, they are losing para prakriti nectar. So this is the samsara samasya. So all they have to do is know my real self. If they know my real self, they are, free from samsara. So he started giving the solution from sloka number 14. Daivi hyesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Yesha daivi gunamayi mama maya hi duratyaya ye mam eva prapadyante te etam mayam taranti. So, my maya is alaukikam, trigunatmakam, very difficult to overcome. It is possible only for those who pray me around the clock. They only can cross the samsara sagaram. So here in 14th, Paramatma is giving the solution. Esha Maya. Esha Maya means this Maya, which is Sagunam, Savikaram, Savikalpam, which is Apara Prakriti. This deludes people. When people are deluded, they think that, it is all our greatness. Why do we need God? So, they are totally deluded. So, how much the Maya is very strong. One cannot overcome this Maya. They do not know that they are now totally deluded by Maya. So, it is very difficult to overcome by the intellect, because the intellect is also deluded by the Maya. Yesha Maya Duratyaya. Gunamayi. Gunamayi means it is having 3 gunas. So, out of the 3 gunas, you may be totally overshaded by one of these gunas. So, all this we'll see in the 14th chapter. Daivi. Daivi means the para prakriti which is in me. So, if apara prakriti is dependent on somebody, that is para prakriti only. Because how to overcome apara prakriti, there is only one solution. Ye mam prapadyante. Those who take refuge in me, those who surrender to me, te etam mayam taranti. So only those can overcome. They only can surpass Maya. So to cross the samsara. Just human effort cannot be sufficient. You need the grace of God. Only if you have grace of God, you can cross over the samsara sagara. If you have grace of God, then God will take you to a Sadguru. Guru will expose you to Shastra. So, by getting exposure to Shastra, you know that you are depending on the world. Now shift your dependence onto God. From your dependence on God to dependence on Shastra. From Shastra, you have to depend on your own self. Your own self means the real self. That is, Aham Brahma Asmi. That kind of absolute nature is known to you and you depend on that. So what is this? What is the problem? Problem is getting deluded by apara prakriti. And what is the parishkaram or solution? Bhakti. That means taking refuge in para prakriti. 15th sloka. Namam dushkritino modaha prapadyante naradamaha mayaya apakruta jnana asuram bhavamasritaha mayaya apakruta jnanaha asuram bhavam asritaha dushkritinaha mudaha naradama mam na prapadyante. So, those who are deluded by Maya, they are, having asuri swabhavam. Asuri swabhavam means they are not having noble qualities. So, they are very low level thinking people in the human beings. They are into all bad karmas. Because of their, bad nature, they do not, pray me. They do not think of me. So many people, they do not come to the bhakti margam. Because there is no, punyam accrued to them. If you don't have the purvajanma punyam, then you don't have any kind of idea about moksha. So you run around ardha kama purushartha. You run around the aihika sukhas. So dharma, moksha, if you want to know, it should be in sampradayam. If you have to take birth in such a religious family, you have to have purvajanma sukrutam. It is not enough if you are born in such a cultured and Vedic people, but you should have Shraddha in Shastra. You may be, surrounded by Brahmajnanis, but if you do not have Shraddha, then the Janma is wasted. Dushkritinaha, because they are not having sufficient punyam, though they have sufficient ambience, they are not into the Vedic culture. Mayaya apahruta jnanaha. Because of apara prakriti, the Maya, their vichakshana shakti, their intellect is deluded. So, 24/7, they are into ardha kama purushartha. They are into the TV channels. So, they don't think of God. They don't think of moksham. Mudaha. So, these people are called mudhas, those who are totally deluded. Anityam nityatvena bhavayati atasmin tad buddhi adhyasa. So they think that the body is permanent, the mind is permanent, this janma is permanent. Like that, they earn money as though they live eternal. So this is called Sobhanadhyasa. So they give more importance to this body, mind, sense complex, which is temporary and which is subject to a lot of changes and finally falls. So they not only lose time, they propagate in such a way that they know everything and they deny Shastra, discourage people, those who go to Shastra. Avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha. They think that they are the panditas. And Naradhama, they are the lowest and the worst people in the human beings. Asuram bhavam asritaha. They adopt all kind of asuri bhavas. They are never into the dharma and moksha purushartha. Na vittena tarpaniya manushya. In Katopanishad, Nachiketa says, by money, these people are never happy. They are never satisfied. So they want more and more and more. So this is how, people lose their journey and miss the bus. We will learn more in the next class. Om Tat Sat Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om